Hey guys, it's Josh Ellsworth with Stahls TV, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into our channel. The content you are about to watch was produced in January 2021 as part of our Heat Press for Profit virtual event. It got rave reviews, and I know you're going to love it. This is called our Show and Sell series, where we walk through some of the hottest trends in blank apparel and teach you how to print them.
Hey everyone, Jenna Sackett here for your next topic on the Show and Sell series, all on fleece. And fleece is such an important topic and really trend in our industry right now, especially if you are looking to branch outside of the t-shirt box and start incorporating more profitable items. And fleece is one of those fabrications that in the past, heat printers and decorators have been a little bit weary of branching out to because of some of those styles and not wanting to scorch or damage the finish of the fleece fabrication with a heat press or compromise that finish in any way. But we are here to tell you that that is certainly not the case, and it is achievable, and all you need is the right heat transfer product, which we are going to be reviewing, and we're going to talk about some of those really trending and popular fleece styles. So I have Carissa Richmond here from BELLA+CANVAS with us today. You probably saw her in the t-shirt Show and Sell with Kelly Walters, and we are really excited to talk about this topic because BELLA+CANVAS just recently launched a new street fleece line, which she is going to be reviewing here shortly. Now, before we dive into that, I'm going to share my screen here with you briefly because these are the styles of fleeces that we are going to be reviewing today. So as I mentioned, street fleece, Chris is going to review that with us and what those styles and why they are trending. And then we're going to review two other fleece styles that we're seeing really trend in our industry. And beyond just personalization and custom printing with a heat press, some other finishes that you can achieve on these styles. So we're going to be reviewing those transfers and why these fleece styles have been so popular. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what street fleece is. It's beyond just, a standard hoodie. We're going beyond just the normal heavyweight cotton poly blends. These fleece styles are a lot softer, and they've become really a big fashion statement because they're no longer seasonal. So I want you guys to think about fleece beyond just some of those seasonal offerings around fall or winter. These are becoming kind of like a secondary t-shirt style because when it comes to popularity, because we're starting to see it so much in retail. We're seeing it a lot more with logo branding and fleece just becoming a part of that overall trend. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Carissa to really dive deep into the street fleece collection and how popular it is in our custom apparel industry.
Thank you, Jenna. So I'm so excited to talk about fleece because, like Jenna mentioned, this is a huge focus for not only just BELLA+CANVAS, but our industry right now. Fleece has been on trend for the last year, but definitely has hit lightning speeds during this pandemic. Fashion has been trending towards a more casual way of dressing for years, but it really has escalated throughout this time. I know I'm not the only one who has lived in sweats and a hoodie throughout the time of working from home. So, and Jenna, I want to make sure that there's no confusion with our new street fleece collection because it is still the same styles that we've had in our line, but we really wanted to rename just the trend as a whole because streetwear is definitely the trend of just the fleece market right now. So I think it's important that everyone knows it's the same fabric that we've had in our line, our signature sponge fleece fabrication for years. But we did rename it just to bring more attention to the trend as a whole. And really the biggest opportunity for growth right now in our industry is fleece. We've made major investments in our fleece category because of the massive opportunity was just so clear. Our street fleece category melds high-end fashion, fit, functionality to meet today's lifestyle trends. And what was once a small segment, fleece is now one of the biggest profit drivers in our industry. Streetwear has become everyday wear for almost everyone. Our street fleece collection includes 25 different styles, over 50 different colors, and is made up in our signature plush sponge fleece fabrication that customers now request by name, which is amazing to see. I know everyone received a sample of a fleece item, and now you will actually be able to understand what I'm talking about when it just comes to how soft our fabric is. So I'm going to get into our basics and really just the go-to silhouettes for our fleece items and what Bella Canvas is known for, and then I'll go into some of our fashion items as well. So I will share my screen. One sec. Okay. All right. So street fleece. Really the go-to styles when it comes to just our fleece offering is going to be our unisex pullover hoodie and our unisex full zip hoodie. So the 3739 is our full zip. The 3719 is our pullover hoodie. There's always going to be that customer that either wants a full zip or wants a hoodie, a pullover hoodie. So we definitely have the options to meet both of those customers' needs. What makes these two styles our go-to in the line is not only the awesome price point that they have, but also both of them are offered in 50 plus colors. So again, I mentioned 90% of buying decisions are based on color alone. So having the right color is key. And these two styles definitely cross all the boxes when it comes to just your basic color offering to your more fashion forward color options. These two styles, we extended sizing all the way up to 3XL. So now we can fit a broader audience. As I mentioned earlier, unisex sizing goes all the way down to 3XL, extra small. So you can really outfit everyone from extra small all the way up to 3X. Next is going to be my favorite styles in our offering and more of our fashion forward women's pieces. Like I mentioned earlier, crops are a trend that has been happening for a couple of years, and it's a trend that we don't see leaving this industry for a while. The 7505 is actually a new style that we recently just added, and it was actually a style that we had in our forward fashion collection, which forward fashion is a smaller collection that we created back in 2016, where we were able to use fabric that we already had in our supply chain and launch styles on a monthly basis, where we could actually test the market and see how well these fashion forward silhouettes would do. So this was a style that received so much positive attention that we wanted to bring it into our full line. So now majority of our distributors have access to this silhouette. And what makes it so great for this industry is that it has a raglan sleeve. So when it comes to just our fleece offering and what really differentiates our offering from any other brand, there's three differentiators. One of them is going to be subtle details. So when it comes to your silhouette, our designer is so forward thinking that he does such a great job at articulating fashion in such a subtle way that it makes it still appropriate for the wholesale industry, but also hits that fashion trend that we're seeing at a retail level. So raglan sleeves are perfect for the wholesale industry, and also a favorite of our line is raglans. We also have a unisex style that I'll show you in a little bit that pairs with this. So next is going to be our 7502, which is our women's crop fleece hoodie, and then also our 7503. So these are our tried and true crop styles that we've had in the line for a couple years. Our 7502 is definitely one of our best selling crop hoodie styles that we have in the line. Both these silhouettes have a drop shoulder. So a drop shoulder is a little bit lower than a set-in sleeve, and it gives it more of that oversized street look. So drop shoulders you will see is a huge trend when it comes to just streetwear in general. So definitely keep these three in mind if you're wanting more fashion options. And I know I mentioned this earlier, but I want to make sure I note again, the majority of our crops in our line are more of an appropriate crop. It hits right where the pant meets. It doesn't show too much midriff. And it also is great if you're pairing it with like a longer shirt underneath. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to crops. I think what really differentiates your offering, your brand logo, your personalized artwork is going to be something that clients are seeing at a retail level. And this is definitely something that will differentiate your offering. So next is going to be the sweatsuit trend, the tone-on-tone dyed to match draw cord trend. When it comes to our offering, we have so many different fashion forward silhouettes to choose from. We have the most fashion forward silhouettes in the industry, and we do such a great job at launching new styles at the top of the year and throughout our forward fashion collection, where we're launching something every other month. So bringing newness to our customers is so important. So the sweatsuit trend, this has been a trend that definitely made a comeback in the last year and a half, I would say. Has that old vintage PE look. We really wanted to make sure that we got ahead of this trend, and we added some new colors to our 3727, which is our unisex jogger sweatpants. I love these joggers because they have more of a cuff at the bottom, so it makes it a little tighter, so it hugs your ankles. It really gives it more of like a fitted look at the bottom, and then it also comes in with pockets. And then this is paired with our 3719, which is our unisex sponge fleece pullover hoodie. So this is it in tan, and we will be adding new colors to the jogger towards the end of the year, so you can outfit the jogger alongside any of our pullover full zips or hoodies. Next is going to be the 3729. So this is our unisex pullover DTM hoodie. So DTM stands for dyed to match. When you're dealing with anything tone on tone, it gives it more of an elevated look, and that's why this style has done so well for us. If you look at it compared to the 3719, the 3719 has more of the white draw cord, so it's just a different look. It really depends what you're going for, what you're looking for your overall aesthetic, but we love the dyed to match draw cords. It looks beautiful with the print. So just another trend that really differentiates us in our offering. And lastly, just for our basic options, is going to be crew necks. Our 3901, which is our raglan tee, which is our raglan crew sweatshirt, is a companion to the cropped raglan that I showed you earlier. This is our third best-selling fleece style because crews have definitely been a trend over the last year, we would say. Raglans sell perfect for this industry, for schools, music. We are actually the main go-to tee for all major festivals, which we hope festivals will be able to pick back up sometime soon in the next 2 years. But something that meets all demographics. I love our crew necks. And then lastly is our 3945, which is our unisex sponge fleece drop shoulder sweatshirt. Again, drop shoulders are a trend that you're going to see majorly in streetwear. So something just to keep in mind when it comes to more of those fashionable items. And I also wanted to show, one sec. So I'm going to be able to move this toolbar. One sec, guys. Oh, this thing is getting in the way. There we go. Okay. So subtle details, I mentioned this earlier, but I really wanted to bring attention to just how we articulate fashion and how subtle details can really elevate just your style offering. In our Forward Fashion collection, which is our exclusive collection that I mentioned earlier, where we're launching newness every other month, we just recently launched about 6 different fleece items. So we brought a lot of new items to the industry. And one of them was zippers. You won't really see zippers anywhere else on apparel items in the industry. And we saw the zipper trend at a retail level about 2.5 years ago, and we really wanted to make sure that we brought it to the wholesale market at just the right time, where it wasn't too far ahead. As we all know, the retail industry is about 2 to 3 years ahead of the wholesale industry. And that's really what differentiates our brand, is really staying at the forefront when it comes to fashion. So zippers are such a great subtle detail. We have the side zipper, and then we of course have a full zip hoodie where you can actually zip it all the way up to the top. Next is our suede collection. So you'll see the similar jogger, the 3727, in our suede fabric. Like the suede tee that you guys received, we also have a fleece version that is super soft, and it's pretty much the soft inside of the fleece is actually on the outside. So it gives it more of an elevated look with printing. It is perfect with embroidery. I know someone asked me about embroidery earlier in my last presentation. So I love our suede fleece when it comes to embroidery, and really any other decoration technique. And next is going to be, I believe the fleece item that you guys received was the raw seam hoodie. So raw seam, again, just a little bit of a different subtle detail on the shoulders or on the pockets. Again, you don't really have to do much to the silhouette. We have always felt like adding too much just takes away from the overall look of the silhouette. So subtle details is huge for us. And the matching sweatsuit trend, I just wanted to bring more awareness back to this because we have so many different colors that you can do a matching sweatsuit look, which we love. So 3727, definitely a style that you should keep in mind if you're wanting to do a full sweatsuit look with any of our top fleece items. And the oversized look. So this is kind of the last of just the silhouette offering and the trend, but I think it's important to know that oversized is a trend of the future. We've been seeing it in not only t-shirts, more so in fleece. We're starting to see a lot of females actually get more unisex men's silhouettes because they love just the oversized look. And that really is what we're seeing in the streetwear market. So I will make sure I send a link in the chats just so you can have access to a lot of our different fleece items on our website. But before I stop my presentation, I wanted to include a couple links here really quick. Sorry, Jenna, this is
totally fine. While you're working on getting those links, because we can share those in the chat, or with anybody looking to find those, we can even share them maybe in the file section. But Vicky, are there any specific questions for Carissa regarding some of these styles, price points, or anything like that that she can help answer?
Yes, actually, specifically to the 3946, what is the price point of that item?
I can include pricing. Well, actually, to kind of touch on pricing, you have to have an account with BELLA+CANVAS or through any of our distributors. So what I'll do is I'll include a link just for people to start exploring on if they can sign up for an account, or also links to our distributors' websites. But normally our fleece will start at a price point of $12.99. And then it goes up from there for certain fashion forward items.
Thanks. We also have a few questions about sizing. What is the size range for most of the Bella Canvas women's shirts? And are there plus size options for women? It looks like folks are particularly interested about 4 to 5XL being available at any time.
So yes, that's actually a great question, which I know somebody asked me that earlier in the last presentation. We have really focused on adding more extended sizes. I know a lot of you saw that we're adding 5XL now to our 3001. We're extending sizing in our fleece offering. Our women's mainly goes up to 2X. Our 6400, we have now added a 3XL in a handful of colors. So we definitely are focusing on adding more extended sizing. So please stay tuned for just more of that extended sizing in the women's category. I did link two links to our Relaxed collection and Flowy collection, since these are two collections that are more of an oversized fit. And I'm happy to make sure that we can get anyone set up with samples. I did link our sales at bella.com email, where our team is aware that we have a lot of people coming off of this Stahls webinar that may have more questions on samples or anything like that. So I'm happy to make sure that we can get everyone a certain look at sizing in extended women's.
Great, and I'm noticing a question come across by Tamara. She's curious, with Bella Canvas now selling to retail buyer directly through their online retail store, how does the pricing compare so decorators can still make money? Is there a price break for wholesale buyers?
Yes, that's a great question, and actually kind of bringing back to what I wanted to make sure I pointed on before closing. We recently launched a retail website, I would say back last October, and pricing for, just to give an example, our standard 3001 is going to start around $24. So the price difference is definitely going to be huge between anyone that has a wholesale account with us. And the whole point of launching retail for us is to really drive more business back to our wholesale channel. We're actually opening up our very first Bella Canvas storefront in Beverly Hills by the end of this month. So for us, it's so exciting that we will now be at a retail level where everyone will walk into our retail store and get to feel our products in person and get a feel for really who we are as a brand. And we're going to start to see an even bigger shift when it comes to customers just requesting products. They will start to request Bella Canvas by name. And we know they already do, but it's going to be even more of a conscious mindset that customers will have, is they'll look for brands that now carry Bella Canvas products because they know that these are brands that invest in quality items. We launched our first season with Nordstrom's all doors back at the beginning of the year. So we just launched our fall collection with Nordstrom's. You will be able to now shop at a retail level and see our Bella Canvas brand name on a lot of our similar products. So it's only a good thing just for our industry, is just driving more of that brand awareness to the wholesale channel.
Great. Yeah, so folks, I see some of you guys commenting in about the $24 price point. Just keep in mind that is different than the wholesale price point that Bella Canvas is offering for you as a decorator. So these are just people coming right into their retail store and purchasing. That's that $24 price point. So just want to clarify that. Bella Canvas has always done really great for price points. You guys have always been a really popular brand name with wholesale space. And I think it's going to be a game changer for a lot of us as decorators, because whenever whenever our customers are seeing that name in retail and you can provide that as a decorator, it just increases the value of your brand.
Yes.
You're providing to your customers. So I think that's awesome for you guys.
Yes, especially if we're selling at a retail level a blank garment for $24. I mean, imagine it with a killer print or decoration. Like, I mean, that's $15, $20 more, even $30 more. I mean, we're seeing our fleece at a retail level priced at about $58. So, and that's just blank. So really our mindset for going retail was just to drive more business back to our decorators in our industry. So we're really excited about it. And again, we're opening up our first flagship store at the end of the month. So definitely stay tuned for just a lot of exciting things that we have coming through the pipeline. Lastly, Jenna, I just wanted to make sure I included, I'll send this in our chat section, but I want to make sure that anyone who is really new to our brand has access to a lot of the education that we have on the back end. So our YouTube channel, we're launching videos throughout the month that really give insight into printing techniques that we have across all of our different fabrications, how we make our products, where we make our products. Some great educational tools are through our YouTube channel, and you can actually use these videos to send to anyone or just to really teach yourself on just how to decorate on certain fabrics that we have. And FAM, Fashion Apparel Masterclass. This is the first e-learning platform of its kind in our industry. We created this a little over 2 years ago because we really wanted to make sure that we could give access to education to anyone who is new or who has been in this industry for a long time. We're in this ever-changing industry, and there are always new things that are changing, especially when it comes to just buyers. So, you know, we talk about just changes that our industry is experiencing and solutions for our customers when it comes to how you can grow your business. So Fashion Apparel Masterclass, you can find the link on our website. BELLA+CANVAS Live, we also host our own webinar once a month that we started during lockdown, which has been a great way for us to stay connected to our industry, especially when there haven't been any trade shows. You can also find that link on our website, which I can include in the chats. And then lastly, we're launching our own BELLA+CANVAS app. The app is not live yet. We should be launching it in a month or so, but this is great for selling tools, printing tips, design inspo, all right on your phone. As we all know, everyone has so many apps that they use, but this is going to be great for anyone that actually might be needing them tools right then and there. So we've really curated just the selling tools through our app. So we're excited to be able to launch that. So all of this I'll make sure I include in the chat so you guys can stay up to date with just what we have coming through the pipeline.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Carissa. This is all really great information. I'm checking out some of the comments coming in through Pathable, and people seem to be really excited about that space and just helping build more profit opportunity for them as a decorator. So thanks again so much. It was great having you on. We are going to go ahead into the decoration portion of this series for fleece. And we are going to be decorating one of those popular styles from BELLA+CANVAS, specifically the 3729. So for those of you that did purchase the kit, you got your hands-on application that includes the 3729 hoodie from the Street Fleece collection by BELLA+CANVAS. And we are going to be decorating that with two of our very popular heat transfer vinyls known as CAD Cut Soft Foam and CAD Cut Metallic. So one thing that we always like to talk about when it comes to experimenting with these fabrications as a heat printer is what type of print solution we should be providing. So fleece is actually really easy to decorate. A lot of people, when it comes to heat printing, I should say, a lot of people try to steer clear from it because they're worried about that scorching or maybe any score marks or indentations on that fleece because of how high of a heat a product might be applying or how much pressure might be being applied to it. So these two products are really great, and I absolutely love the soft foam on the fleece because of how well the two textures really mold and pair together. So CAD Cut Soft Foam, for those of you that are not familiar with it, it is a dimensional product. I'm going to try to hold that up there as close as possible so that you guys can see the dimension of this heat transfer vinyl. So again, this is a heat transfer vinyl. It comes in a roll form that you can feed into a vinyl cutter, cut out a design, and weed away and heat apply onto apparel. This also comes as a transfer as well for maybe some of those of you that don't have a vinyl cutter yet. This can be ordered as a transfer that is already cut out for you and ready to heat apply. So if you guys did order the kit, that's exactly how these came in transfer form. Soft foam is the larger portion of the design, and then we're going to do a little bit of mixed media with that CAD cut metallic. CAD cut metallic is that high mirror-like shine heat transfer vinyl that is perfect for printing retail styles such as the street fleece. So I can't think of two better products that pair perfectly with this style of fleece, especially in the popularity and the demographics that this collection is really reaching, like Carissa mentioned. So let's go ahead and heat apply so that you guys can see the application firsthand. And if you guys are doing a little bit of application along with me, you can kind of walk through the steps on how to heat apply this transfer from the kit that you guys ordered. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust here so that you guys can see what I'm doing at the heat press. All right, so I'm working with the A to Z heat press. So I'm just gonna swing away my top heating element. And one best practice that we always say whenever we're heat printing is to thread the garment. So what I'm doing is opening this hoodie up and I'm just threading on the top layer of the hoodie. This is going to help isolate my print area where my desired print location is going to be. It's gonna get any thick seams out of the way or any wrinkling or anything that could really cause any type of pressure issue so that my application can go nice and smooth. Now, before we heat apply, what I want to do is do a quick preheat. This is probably one thing that you've picked up across a lot of our education throughout this event is doing a preheat to test your pressure and make sure that you are releasing any moisture or wrinkles in that fabric. Now you'll notice that my temperature is set down, it's reading out as 303 right now, but I do have my temperature set to 300 degrees. I have my application for how many seconds this needs already plugged in to my heat press. So that's exactly what's reading out here for me. Now with the kit, we did include application instructions, right? So you can see here that soft foam applies at 300 degrees for 15 seconds using a low or medium pressure. Now that's key because whenever you're working with heat sensitive items such as fleece, you want to make sure you're at a decently low temperature and that you're at a light to medium pressure, right? That way you're not getting any of those score marks or edges from the bottom platen or any just burning or scorching in general, right? So whenever you are working with multimedia for your applications, it's important to start considering, which application you're going to do first. I always say, just as a rule of thumb, to start with the largest part of your design and then go from there. So we're going to start with soft foam. What I like to do to try to find placement on large garments like this is find center by just checking out where the center of the collar is. And then from there, I take 4 fingers and I place that right at the edge of the seam of my collar and I drop my design down right from there. That's just really helping me measure a general maybe 3 inches from the collar, which is pretty standard when it comes to center full front designs, right? Next thing we need to make sure we have is a cover sheet. So I'm going to grab that and cover my design, and then I can apply for its application. Right, soft foam is a cold peel product, so I am going to make sure that this does get the full application before I go in with the CAD cut metallic. And to help speed up that cool down process, what I'm going to do is remove this hoodie from the heat and place that on a cold surface just to kind of speed up that process. While I'm waiting for this to cool, Vicki, are there any questions regarding product at all?
Nothing regarding Stahls products, but there is quite a bit about the about Bella Canvas question. Yep, just for Carissa for now.
All right, awesome. All right, so as I'm peeling this away, I'm gonna try to hold this up so that you guys can see the finish of the soft foam. Right, so you can see that like really popping off on the garment, really nice dimension. Dimension is continuing to trend. I know we talked about this in the heat transfer vinyl and vinyl cutter class yesterday, but the more dimension that you can offer, the more profit opportunity, because it has been so popular within retail and just branding in general. Right, so for our last application, I'm just going to repeat that same step, threading that back on and following the application instructions for CAD cut metallic. So once again, those application instructions will be on that sheet that came in the kit. Now this product does apply as low as 285. So again, just to repeat, these heat transfers are all very low temp, which is allowing us to get a good application on a heat sensitive item without risking damaging the finish of the actual fleece here. Right, so covering with a cover sheet, we're going to complete that application by locking our press down for 8 to 10 seconds. Right, so just to review those product application instructions, soft foam applies at 300 degrees. Anytime you're working with mixed media, you always want to go with the temperature of the product that applies at the highest. So since soft foam does apply at 300 degrees, we wanted to make sure we were staying at that temperature because it's not going to hurt the metallic to apply it at a higher temperature of 300, even though it applies at 285, right? So always go with the highest temp of product whenever you're working with mixed media. Right, so again, soft foam 300 degrees, applies for 15 seconds, and metallic applies at 285 for 8 to 10 seconds. Right, so I'm going to come back over to the desk here. And then we can show you the finish of the metallic once that is cool. Right, so again, to speed up that process, we'll find a cool spot. Hopes to be maybe next to a window or something that's nice and cool to really just speed up that process. Now, if I were printing a ton of these, like maybe I was doing like 10 to 12 of these and I didn't want to have to wait for each one of those to cool, I could toss these off to the side and come back to them later and peel that CAD cut metallic off. Right, so just keep that in mind if you are producing a lot at one time. You can just do it that way. So peeling away the metallic, and I just love how these two products really pair together, right? And this also is a really good design idea, all right? So we're seeing a lot of trendy graphics like this where it's like repeated text a lot in retail. So this is going to be a really great sample for those of you that want to introduce fleece and special effect finishes so that you can show your customers that you can go beyond just your basic t-shirt applications with matte finishes. So I know Kelly and Carissa talked about good, better, best marketing strategies in the last presentation and the soft, softer, softest. So all good, great strategies whenever you're talking to your customers about all the different print finishes and all the different apparel items that you can offer them so that you can yield more profit opportunity and also value in your brand as a decorator. Great, so that is the first application for this class. We are going to review 2 other fleece styles. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys. And we will also review heat transfer types once we review these. So I will come back to that slide here shortly. All right, so things to know about street fleece. So street fleece, another great fleece option beyond just those hoodies and popular styles that Carissa was showing. I feel like street fleece really hits a different demographic than, or the sweater fleece hits a different demographic than the street fleece. The reason I say that is because we're not just always going after that fashion forward type of customer. There are some other corporate type customers that you could be getting requests from. And it's important to know that you can also serve those market types as well. And I feel like sweater fleece does a really great job at that. I would say most commonly sweater fleece can be compared to that really popular brand known as Patagonia. It has that same texture and high-end feel to it. And it's something that you can access as a decorator and be able to offer print solutions to. All right, so you can source these from Sanmar, you can source them from SNS Activewear, but they're just really great. They offer that city life look and feel, but also is like a performance-focused quality of product that is still a good choice for some of those outerwear pieces that you can reach different markets with. So street sweater fleece, really great option. It's important to consider what type of transfer that you want to use on this style of fleece. Reason being, it is more textured. So let me go ahead and grab the sample that we're going to be heat printing here. It is definitely more textured. It feels so much like a sweater. And it makes you think, okay, what type of print should I put on this that's going to build more profit opportunity for me and not just a basic matte heat transfer vinyl. So what we're going to be applying on this is a CAD cut twill. Right, so we offer 2 twill options and they allow you to get full color, gives you the look and feel of an embroidered twill, but all you have to do is heat apply it. All right, so this is the regular twill that we offer. And then this is an option of the texture twill that we offer. So you can see that that has a little bit of prism to it. So twill, really great solution, really great way to build more profit opportunity in some of the branding solutions that you can offer your customers. You can get gradients, multicolor, photo, realistic imagery in these type of transfers. And one of the most common applications for, or I guess I shouldn't say just application, more so a print location, is that left chest logo. So that's the application that we're going to do with the sweater fleece. Now, before I head back over to the heat press, I want to review one more fleece style with you guys, and we'll do both of those applications at the heat press. So the second, or the third, I guess I should say, fleece style is Sherpa. And I think we say it best here when we put on there, it's a blanket that you can wear. Sherpa is so popular in blankets and socks and some of those just really cozy items. But it also is becoming more and more popular as a wearable. So Sherpa, done so well by brands such as J America, Boxercraft, Sport Tech, Port Authority. We're starting to see Sherpa incorporated more and more. And it's not just the lining of a outerwear jacket anymore. It's both the on the inside and the outside. But this is something that you can still heat apply. So a lot of people look at this and they see the high pile of this fabric and they're worried about how that might heat print, but it's just a polyester. And as long as you're using the right application or transfer solution for it, you're good to go. So let's go ahead and heat apply these so you guys can see the print solutions for these products. And you application with some hardware in there. So you do see a zipper here. That's something that we are going to have to use a heat print accessory for to avoid any uneven application there. So I'm going to be grabbing my heat printing pillow, which is a great accessory to keep on hand for printing items such as this. So I'm going to drop this back further and unzip this. Also going to take the tag off of here. So this brand of sweater fleece, this was sourced from S&S Activewear, and the brand is weatherproof. And I'm going to take my heat printing pillow and insert that over here off to the side of that zipper. So now the zipper is falling off here and not in the way of causing an uneven pressure on my heat platen. Now I'm just going to take that twill and place it in its left chest logo. Now a rule, or maybe this is just a tip, this is how I've done left chest logo applications. What I do is find the center of where my seam meets my collar. So my shoulder seam meets my collar here. That is where I want my center to be for my design placement. And then I'm going to drop down about 6 inches from there. Right. So that just kind of helps me line up my left chest logos. I am in no way, shape, or form good at a left chest logo application. But that just really helps me find my placement, and I always have to do that. I can't just eye it up. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that zippers drop down so that I'm not damaging my upper heating element at all. And I'm gonna cover with a cover sheet because this is a sublimated transfer here and there is no carrier on it. So if I don't cover that with something, it can transfer up to my upper heating element and then transfer back onto something else later. So great idea to just get in the habit of covering with a cover sheet so you can avoid something like that from happening. All right, I am going to decrease my pressure a tad since I did insert that pillow, and then I can just lock it down. So CAD prints is actually a 325-degree application, and it applies for 15 to 20 seconds. So keep that in mind. Whenever you are working with CAD prints tool, what type of fabrication you have. Now, this is a really great and durable type of fleece. It also helps that it's heathered. So a little tip, if you guys are working with heathered garments, those show scorching less. So if you ever have a request for like something polyester and it has heathered in it, just a little tip, heathered reduces the risk of really being able to see any scorching if there happens to be any scorching with the transfer that you're using. There is no scorching here though. You can tell by not being able to see a little sheen. Anytime something does scorch, you'll be able to notice a little bit of a gloss to the finished fabric, right? So that is the CAD prints twill on the sweater fleece. Now we're going to move on to that Sherpa application. So this is by Port Authority. This is sourced from Sanmar. And we're just going to follow those same instructions that we did with the other two applications by threading, preheating, so on and so forth. Now I am doing another left chest application here, so I'm still going to use my pillow because there is a really thick seam here on where the Sherpa is being threaded together to create this V-neck collar. So I do want to make sure that that pillow is there to raise my print area and keep this collar from causing any uneven pressure for my application. I'm going to dial that back. Sherpa, like I mentioned earlier, does have a really high pile, so it's creating a lot of density underneath my heating element. So our third solution for printing fleece is a thick dimensional product known as flock. Okay, so flock heat transfer vinyl is a suede-like finish that really mimics the look of embroidery. Embroidery is very, very popular when it comes to printing styles like this. So if you're not an embroiderer, but you want to be able to offer that premium look and feel that embroidery offers, this is a great solution for that. Now, if you are an embroiderer and you're looking for a solution for maybe some of those price conscious customers that maybe want the look of embroidery, but don't want the price point of embroidery, this is another great solution for that. Again, this is our Flock 2, and it has a very nice textured look and feel to it. Now, I'm aware that we are approaching the end of our session here, so I am just going to do the single color application for this. You guys will still be able to get the look and feel of what the flock looks like on the Sherpa with just the single. All right, this is a cold peel, so I am waiting for this to cool down before I remove this carrier. And this is one that I'm definitely going to need a flat surface for, because the flock really likes to grip onto the carrier of heat transfer vinyl, or the Sherpa likes to really grip onto those carriers. So I'm being very cautious when I peel away that carrier so that I'm not ripping it. I don't want to distort my image in any way, but you can see that this is still very achievable. Now, the reason I choose flock for Sherpa is because of the high density that it offers. It's not something that just feels like it's sitting on top of the Sherpa. It's thick enough that it looks like it's just becoming a part of that garment. All right, so flock, whenever you're working with Sherpa, consider the transfer type. Flock is great for it because of the dimension and density that it offers on high pile fabrics like that. You'll notice that we recommend Flock 2 for a lot of other applications, such as beach towels or hand towels, anything that has that really high pile, because that adhesive will sink down into the base layer. So it doesn't look like a heat transfer vinyl is just laying right on top of that fabric. Some other solutions in printing fleece that I just want to make honorable mentions of is the 3D embroidery. And we do have demonstrations of the application for this coming up in some of our other sessions today. And then also the leather patches, which we have been demoing throughout the duration of this event. So keep that in mind. Anything that is patch-like, has dimension, has that raised effect off of its adhesive is going to look best on these fleece styles. So to review, we use CAD Cut Soft Foam, which is a low temp dimensional product for our street fleece application. We did our Flock 2 for the Sherpa application, and we did our CAD Prints Twill product for that sweater fleece application. So really great solutions there. Build more profit opportunity into some of the finishes that you're offering your customers. So that's pretty much it when it comes to fleece. But before we head out here, I just want to make sure that I'm answering any questions that may have come in throughout those applications.
Just two quick ones. One, what was the fabric composition of the heathered fleece that you applied?
Let me grab it. I believe it's just cotton poly, but I want to double check to make sure I'm saying that right. All right, so it's 100% polyester.
Okay, perfect. Also, I think this is good for everyone. What is the difference between a pad and a pillow? When do you want to use the two?
Yeah, so great question. Pillow is going to allow you to work very close to seams and zippers. So for example, if I wanted to use this pillow on and print like very close to the zipper, what the pillow is going to allow happen here is that zipper to sink down in, but keep my print area raised. All right, so I can put this pillow underneath zippers, underneath buttons, and press right on top of those and get applications very close to any hardware that could be in the way of causing an uneven pressure. All right, so that is the solution for a pad or for a pillow. For pads, a pad is just going to raise a print area. So you can't necessarily lay buttons or zippers over a pad. It's just something that you can put next to any of that hardware that's going to raise your print area and let the other items just fall off to the side. All right, was that the last question?
Can you show in a zoom detail for the surface of the last red decoration item?
Yes. What was that? Here we go. There you go. Hold on. There we go. I'm working with a small screen here. I can't tell if I'm in view or not. All right.
And for all of the viewers, a lot of them are asking for the list of everything that we've applied here. I will direct everyone to just send an email over to events@stahls.com, and Jenna and I will be happy to send over anything to you that you would like to apply at home.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Stay tuned for the next show and sell series, which is coming up next, all on heat pressing bags. See you guys next time.